In today's video, I'm gonna explain why I'm holding this weird item that I created and what you need to do to absolutely make sure that you accomplish the goals that you set for yourself in 2023.
You're listening to the Venue RX podcast.
Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan. On this show, we document and share best practices around owning, operating, and managing world-class wedding venues. I'm so excited you've joined us today. We have a mindset video for you today, and it's specifically about 2023 and goal setting and things like that. And we're gonna make this one short and sweet because I really want you to be successful, and I want you to get on setting your goals and make sure that you set really impactful goals that carry you the distance through this year and you have the best year yet. So we're gonna be talking about that. But if you're a return listener, do me a favor and consider sharing this with a fellow venue owner or with a friend or with someone that you feel like it would provide value. We don't run any ads on the show. We don't do any sponsorships or anything like that. And the only way that this show grows is through you guys sharing and sharing with other people about what we're doing here on the Venue RX. So I'm so excited that we just crossed the 1,000 follower, subscriber mark, and I wanna continue growing. I wanna continue doing this. So thank you so much so far. Let's continue to build this together. All right, for today's topic, we're talking about something that I feel very passionately about that I think you need to do moving into 2023 to make sure that you accomplish the goals that you set for yourself. I know for me, the goals I'm setting for myself are pretty big and they're pretty scary, audacious, and we talk about all sorts of different things related to goal setting, right? We talk about, how to set goals that are specific and measurable. We talk about the acronym SMART, right? You've probably heard that before. I encourage you, if you're thinking about not setting goals because it feels hokey, don't worry about that. Don't worry about the perceptions of others. Be courageous, set some of those goals, even if they feel big, even if they feel scary, even if it feels like you might not accomplish them. Choose to be bold and courageous, set those big goals, and then go out and crush it. I think, though, there is an incredibly important piece of goal setting that I think if you don't do it first, you'll actually end up kind of self-sabotaging and not ending up feeling really, really good about yourself and about the goals that you've set and about the progress that you've made. And that's where this very weird little device comes into play. So if you can see it, it is I don't know if you can see it here. It's like a toilet paper tube, and I've stuck a couple of pens through it. And you might be saying, what the heck is this? What's going on here, right? Well, this represents our life, right? This tube. And we've got all sorts of things that are flowing through it on a daily basis, right? And I think when we're young, we start out and there's not much, right? And so the tube is pretty clear, right? And stuff is just flowing in and out. And as we add things into our life, as we add disappointments and struggles and hardships and all sorts of different things, maybe expectations that we had that were let down, we add in relationships, we add in venue ownership, right? We add in amazing couples, we add in maybe not so amazing couples. What we start doing is we start maybe developing some bad habits. And so what happens is those habits are just like these pencils here, right? Those habits end up sticking in, and at first they might stick in just a little bit, right, like that, right? And then they stick in further and further and further, and soon they're pretty firmly rooted, right? And then we've got some more, right? And some of these things, some of these bad habits, some of these blockages that we have in our life come in the form of poor eating habits. Some of them come in the form of improper use of alcohol. Some of them are, unhealthy ways of relating to each other. Sometimes they're unhealthy relationships that we have, right? Or relationships that we leave in our life because we are getting something from them, but it's not healthy. It's not a healthy exchange of relationships, between the two people. And sometimes, unfortunately, it's family members, right? Unfortunately, it's friends. Unfortunately, it's friends that we should not be hanging out with, but we've been friends for so long, we feel a little guilty about cutting them out of our lives, but they aren't inputting, right? And so what ends up happening is there are all these things that are blocking the hole. And then what happens is you set a big goal for yourself, and inevitably, when you set that goal, right, there's stuff that comes along and tries to go through the tube, right, of your life, and it ends up blocking and it ends up getting stuck. And as you have more things that go through your life, imagine, it's like a sink drain. You've got some hair that's going down there. For any of the ladies that are listening, how much hair is going down that shower drain. I know my wife has beautiful long hair, and we're constantly getting it stuck in the drain, and it's going through this pipe now, and there's hair now in there, and there's all this stuff, there's this gunk, there's this buildup, there's all of these blockages. And so we try to put the challenges that come through venue management, and come through managing a team and managing a company and managing our own personal life. We try to force those things through this hole that has so much buildup and so much callus, and there's calcification, and there's all these things that are there, and it doesn't allow for anything to pass through. And or the stuff that does pass through gets really fragmented, and it's tough, right? And so what I want you to consider doing, and why I made this analogy in this crazy little thing, was I think it's important as you set the goals that you have for yourself. They might be goals like, I don't want to drink. Like, for example, I'm just going to use that one. It's really easy. I personally, last year, I decided around Christmas time that I wanted to take an entire year off of drinking. And it was a part of something I did called 75 Hard. And, I wanted to go through the 75 days. It's, working out 2 times a day, 2 45-minute workouts a day. It is drinking a gallon of water. And as I went through that, I decided that I wanted to do this 75 Hard program. I decided then that I didn't want to drink for the whole year. I decided that I wanted to make a substantial impact in our business by getting over $1 million in revenue. I wanted to hit some of these milestones. And what I realized was, as I had those goals, and as that goal was trying to go through the pipe of my life, I had some things that were in the way. I had some beliefs that I had to let go of, right? And I had to get rid of. I had some friendships that I had to, stop entertaining. I had some relationships in my life I couldn't be a part of. I had to pull those out, right? And just like that pen that was hard to pull out, some of those relationships were hard to pull out. Some of those relationships and some of those people and some of the old habits that I had were really hard to remove from my life, but they had to be removed so that I could accomplish the goal. There were some people that I regularly would hang out with who were always drinking buddies, right? And I'm just speaking for me personally. It's going to be different for you, obviously. But I had some people in my life that I knew that if I was going to hang out with them, I was going to be around drinking. And that might be difficult if I was not drinking, right? And so as you're listening to this, I want you to think about your life and think, okay, what are the goals that I want to set for myself? What does 2023 look like at the end of the year? What does my venue look like? What does my business look like? How many couples have I served? How has my business grown? How's my family grown? How am I showing up in the different areas of life that I want to show up in? And what do I need to remove before I can be successful at those goals, right? What are the pens and the pencils here? And what's the calcification? And what's the buildup and the blockage that is in my life currently that I'm going to have to remove so that I can make sure that I'm successful accomplishing my goals for 2023. And so I want you to think about that, and I would absolutely love to support you. So if you don't have anyone to keep you accountable, I know there are a couple people in my life that really showed up as accountability partners. So, if you want that, definitely send me an email, thevenuerx@gmail.com. I want to make sure that you know that you do have support. I don't think that too many people hit me up. If we do, we're gonna have to figure something else out. But I want you to know that, like, setting the goals, having the accountability around the goals, and then removing the things out of your life that don't serve those goals is something that's extremely powerful. It's been powerful in my life, helping me accomplish the goals that I've set for myself in the past. And I want that for you too. I want your venue to be successful. I want your business to be successful. I think 2023 is an exciting year because, we're not dealing with a lot of the blowback, I think, from COVID as much anymore. We're kind of getting back to like business as usual or normal. I know many people have already been way back there, but here in California, and I know in New York, we have experienced kind of this wave of postponements and bookings and things like that we really closed the chapter on in 2022. 2023 is a new year. It's an exciting year, and I want to make sure that the pipe of your life as you're trying to put these goals and put these exciting new things in, that you don't have the blockages in your life that we talked about. So thank you so much for listening, watching this channel. Please consider sharing it with a friend, subscribing if you're not already subscribed, and that makes a big difference to myself and the rest of the team here. So thank you so much. Thankful for you guys. We'll see you in the next video.